Alright, what's going on all my new current and future rideshare drivers and passengers out there? Welcome to the channel. Before I get started, if you find the content interesting and this is your first time here, don't be shy. Smash the subscribe button and click that little bell icon. That way, hopefully YouTube will notify you when I come out with new videos. If you want to become a rideshare driver and have a bonus guarantee automatically already applied, while supplies last, use the link in the description below. If you're an Uber driver and somehow you forgot to do that when you first joined because you didn't know anybody, you didn't know about it, you may be in luck still, so check out the instructions in the description below and potentially get one applied today. Now, today's video, I am talking to everybody out there, riders and drivers that take rides, okay? Should you tip your driver? And the correct answer to that is, hell yeah, you should. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you, okay? There has been articles out there suggesting that most people don't tip Uber and Lyft drivers, but always, almost always tip a taxi driver. Now, why would you not tip your Uber and Lyft driver, especially when they're cheaper than taxis? That is the big thing out there. And I do understand, of course, Lyft forever always had tipping in the app, so there was nothing to discourage you from tipping. Uber, however, for years and years, kept telling everybody, you don't have to carry cash on you. Don't worry about tipping your drivers. It's already included in the fare, which was bogus BS to begin with. And now, especially after they went from an 80-20 split to we only get paid for distance and time. So yes, guys, anytime, drivers, riders, everybody out there, if you take a trip and you get from point A to point B safely, you need to tip your driver, okay? Now, people sometimes will be like, okay, how much should I tip? Well, that just depends, okay? I would think with nowadays, with gas prices as high as they are and everything else, it should be at least a $5 minimum on tipping. And people will be like, oh, well, that might be too high. Well, guess what? A normal taxi is at least probably double the fare of what you paid for your trip to begin with, okay? So don't be shy. Don't be hesitant. Tip your damn drivers, all right? Most of us, we live for the tips. And I tell people all the time, all my drivers out there, don't go out expecting tips because we do know, as I'm seeing in the chat here, a lot of people just don't tip. Now, that's not just because they don't just tip their drivers. They just don't tip in general. Some people are cheap SOBs, hence why they take Uber and Lyfts and Uber Pool, which everybody hates that. But that is why. That is why. Okay? You guys are funny. But, so if I tell drivers, don't expect tips, so that way when you don't get them, you don't get upset. But let's face it, guys, we all really, of course, you want to tip. You want to tip. That's right, Tris. Limo drivers get tipped big bucks. Of course, they pretty much do about the same thing, but they also might have snacks and everything else. And especially if your driver is providing you extra services like snacks, they have little game consoles, waters, and you take any of that, you should definitely feel obligated to tip. Because you think Uber and Lyft pay for any of the extra stuff? A phone charger, water, snacks, anything? No. That's a negative, Ghost Rider. They do not pay for anything. Everything you ever see in an Uber driver's vehicle comes out of their pocket because these are our vehicles. Someone just said, Dustin, do you have a tip box on your center console? Yes, I do have a tip box. It's not in here right now, but yes, I do. I've made plenty of videos on that. And in talking about that, some drivers think it's okay, some don't. They think it's tacky. Personally, for me, I think it's just fine. Because like I said, Uber and Lyft back in the day used to discriminate against tipping pretty much. So now that tipping has been introduced into the app, all of a sudden they have never made anything out there. They have never made any kind of videos or reports in the app saying it's okay to tip your driver. You should tip at least a minimum of anything. They've never said any of that. All right. Now, again, I understand people out there that aren't going to tip are, and those who will. Aren't you afraid of getting robbed? No, I ain't. I'm never getting afraid of getting robbed. And what you want to do, if you have a tip box, I would suggest a tip box or a cup. Some people have different things, whatever. Only leave $1 or $2 in there. If someone puts a 5 or a 10 or 20, anything like that, take it out, okay? That way, you're less likely to have to worry about anything because if someone just sees $1 in there or some change, odds are they ain't going to waste their time trying to rob you. At least you would hope so, okay? But that's my advice. My tip box is actually black and you cannot see into it, so nobody knows what's in there at all. Even with tip box, I haven't had a cash tip in 3 days. Dang, Seth. I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, some people will, some people won't. I would also suggest, of course, that's why I say don't expect tips. And remember, guys, drivers out there and riders, you have 30 days to tip your driver, okay? And drivers, you have 30 days to receive a tip. So always remember that right there. And like I was saying, drivers would appreciate at least $1. $1 still goes a long way, even though $1 can't really buy your jack anymore. It still shows appreciation. And I would literally suggest, though, the minimum is at least $5. At least $5. Even $5 isn't as much anymore, but asking really any more than that is just being greedy. And we don't need to be greedy. We just need to show appreciation. We got you from A to B. We help you especially, I noticed the most time you get tipped, which is how everyone should, is when you're taking luggage and stuff to an airport. Almost every airport trip tips you. Okay, and like I was saying, there's been studies out there that almost everybody out there that takes a taxi feels obligated to tip a taxi driver. And it should be the same way with your Uber and Lyft driver, because that's what everybody compares us to. They all say we're taxis. So if you get to the airport, you're on time, they helped you unload or load your luggage, whatever, even if they didn't, still tip your driver. Always tip your drivers, guys. Even if I'm broke, I still tip 20%. Same here, JP. I always tip. Anytime I go to a restaurant, anything. If they didn't give me the best of service, I still tip them something, just because I've been there. I used to be a waiter, and they live off tips. They only get paid like $2.15 an hour. Hell, if everyone tipped just $1 and you do 100 rides, that's $100. That's right, William. That's what I'm talking about right there. There was a video about a customer, as soon as they got out of the car, they took the driver's tips out of his box. Yeah, I saw that. That was like 2 years ago. That was a messed up ride. What do you rate non-tippers? That's a good question, Seth. Some drivers out there have a system where if you didn't get a tip, you would rate them 1 star. Me, I don't go by that system just because I'm not shady like that or shallow. And it's not like, that's why we say tips are appreciated, they're not expected. So, and since the fact of, you don't know if they're going to tip you within that 30 days or something, okay? Because obviously, they'll eventually when the tip comes through, it'll tell us the trip that we tipped. But if they don't tip for a couple days, then you never really know. And yeah, you can't rate them after the tip notification. That's right. That's right. So, for me, I tip my drivers no matter what, at least $5 and above, even if it's a short ride. No matter what, I always tip. Now, how I rate my passengers, I always give everybody a 5. You get a 5 as long as you didn't make me, you didn't make me wait forever. You weren't you weren't an ass, basically. All right? You get a 5. As long as we went from point A to point B safely and everything went great, I give people a 5. I don't see no reason not to. I even end everything with my closing line, guys. If you want helps on getting extra tips, also communicate with your passengers. Entertain them. You don't even really have to entertain, but you can be funny, tell some jokes or something else. Be polite, be professional, but always end every ride. So it's like a nonchalant saying, you've been a 5-star passenger. I hope you enjoyed your ride. Stay safe and have a great day. Just saying that right there put it in people's mind. Oh, okay, well, he's rating me 5 stars. They have to rate you first to see the tip. So after they rate you, then they can see the tip feature. So if you remind them to rate, it might be a little corny, but it's just like, hey, man, you've been a 5-star passenger. Because I always talk to my passengers, so we've already been joking around or something else during the entire ride. So then I just nonchalant, like, all right, man, well, you've been a 5-star passenger. Stay safe and have a great day, man. Just messing around. But people appreciate that, okay? And that's just like nonchalant saying, all right, I'm giving you 5 stars. At least give me 5 stars back, because as we all know, guys, anything below 5 stars can get you deactivated eventually. If you got nothing but 4 stars, guess what? You're under a 4.6, and you run the risk of being deactivated. So, corny or not, I don't want to get deactivated. And that's right, Seth. 5 stars don't pay the bills. I agree. But they keep you able to keep making money. But use that line, guys. It's Friday. It's the weekend. I guarantee you use my stupid little corny line, you'll see some kind of tip increase. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Seth, you said you haven't got tips in 3 days. Go out there tonight. Use that stupid line. All right? I just say have a good day and I'm a 5-star driver. I mean, you can do that too, but I'm just saying, if you just add that in there, be like, all right, guys, you've been a 5-star passengers. You're just nonchalant. Don't act like, like say it like, I'm going to rate you 5 stars. Don't say it like that. You know what I'm saying? But just be like, you've been a 5-star passenger. Stay safe and have a great night. Enjoy yourself. Best of luck. Whatever you want to say. But just use that line in there. I'm telling you, it will work. All right, I've already had tons of feedback on that line. I made a video specifically talking about that line. It works. Now, for passengers, if you're not going to rate, this is what I want to say too. If you're not going to rate your driver 5 stars, for whatever reason it is, make sure you actually put that reason in there and don't just use the other selection. Otherwise, a driver is not going to know what to improve on. Okay? If we don't know what to improve on, it's just everything's going to stay the same. We don't know what's wrong. We can't fix it. That's the bottom line right there. Okay? That is the bottom line. And technically, if you got from point A to point B safely, your driver didn't try to hit on you or whatever else, they deserve 5 stars because why not? What is the reason, you know what I'm saying, well, you would have to give your driver less than that? You're getting a cheap ride to where you want to go. If you don't want to talk to your driver, you don't want them talking to you, just ask and say, hey, I don't feel like talking. I don't feel like talking right now. Don't make us guess. All right? And please, passengers, if you could possibly, I'm sure all drivers can make sure they give me a thumbs up on this and appreciate it. Don't bombard us with questions. If you're going to ask questions, keep it to like 1, maybe 2. Especially if it's the normal, how long you been doing this? Do you enjoy doing this? What's your craziest ride? We hear the same questions every day, all day. And I might even make a little tip sign and make a little parody video, some kind of funny video with it. And maybe even use this out in the field, guys, of having all the questions to ask me. And I'll make it like a point system. But yes, personally, I honestly think ratings are bogus BS and shouldn't be there at all. But they are, so we have to work with them and rate accordingly. I even suggest drivers do the same thing, even though they're not going to listen to me. But just because someone doesn't tip you doesn't mean they deserve a 1 star because maybe they didn't have any money right then or there. You know what I'm saying? There's always different things out there. But on the real, all passengers should tip their driver at least $1, okay? If you took that cheap ride, that cheap pool ride, especially them pool rides, you should be tipping your driver. And yes, I know some people be like, well, that's why we took pool ride, because we don't have a lot of money. Well, then guess what? I bet you that bus pass was still cheaper than your ride, okay? So remember, our vehicles, we have to do maintenance on them. We have to provide our own gas, everything else. So help your driver out. They got you from A to B safely. 5 stars, at least a minimum of $1. $5 would be great, but hey, asking any more than that is just, a bit much. But still, guys, please. Oh, there you go. Seriously, who doesn't carry cash? A lot of people don't, but I always make sure I have some kind of cash on me. I try to have at least $100, as like safety, precaution or anything like that. At least 20 when it's really tough. Because you go places sometimes, the machines are broke, it's cash only. You gotta have cash, because cash is king. All right, and yes, guys, one more thing before I go. Riders, do not tell your driver you're gonna tip them in the app if you do not plan on tipping them in the app, okay? Please, we do not need to hear that bogus BS. Do it if you're gonna do it. If you don't, just don't say it, all right? There's no need to be like that. Don't do that. But all right, guys. As always, check the description below for extra information and tips. Keep doing your thing. You stay safe out there. Get your money. Please, don't take crap from anybody. Use that common sense. And until next time, guys, Tip your drivers or don't, but you should tip them. Peace out.